Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to those who are watching today's IELTS speaking class. My name is Alex, and I'll be doing some IELTS practice with students today. The goal of this class is to give lots of exposure to the IELTS speaking exam. I'll be going through some tips, and I will also be doing some live speaking practice as well with students who join today's class. So let's see who is in the class today. If you're watching live, then let me know. If you're watching on Facebook, let me know your name and where you are watching from. And if you're watching on YouTube, also let me know where you're watching from and your name as well. We try to make these classes as interactive as possible. So the more people who get involved directly, the more entertaining and useful the classes end up being. So I look forward to seeing who is going to join us today. So just having a quick look to see who is with us, and I can see that we have Kelly has joined us in today's class. So a warm welcome to you, Kelly. And Kelly is watching on Facebook. Let's see who else is in the class with us today. We've also got Gurpreet. Hello to you, Gurpreet. I hope you are having a good day today. Looking forward to the weekend. We've also got Aksan Khan, who is watching from Bangladesh, also watching on Facebook. So welcome to you, Aksan Khan. Ebedi as well says hi. Hello to you, Ebedi. A very warm welcome. We've also got Sundar. So welcome to you, Sundar. Welcome to today's class. Gemma is also here. Gemma is in Kuwait. So you can see we've got people here from all around the world, which is what makes this so interesting and engaging. And on top of that, we have Nezuko, who is watching from the Philippines. So welcome to you, Nezuko. Rani is watching as well. Rani is from India. So hello to you, Rani. And we have Trix, who is watching from the Philippines. So there we are. We've got quite a diverse array of students watching us. Sundar says that he is watching from Dubai. And Grace, hello to you, Grace. Grace is watching from the UK. So welcome to all of you. As the class continues, I'll be looking out as well to see any other students who join us. I can see that we've also got some students joining us live in the class to do speaking practice. So I look forward to doing practice with Jess, Honey, Abby, and Rita, who have all joined me live in today's class. Welcome to each of you. We've also got Jennifer, who's watching from the USA. So hello to you, Jennifer. And Abby says hello as well from inside the class. So hello to you, Abby. I look forward to doing some speaking practice with you a little bit later today. Okay, so let's, just before we move on to have a look at today's tips and some of the ways of approaching IELTS speaking, which can help you improve your score, I do want to make you aware of the opportunity for those who are watching live on Facebook and YouTube, how you could join us directly in the class, and also how you could receive extra support. So here at Swoosh and Connetics, we would love to assist you in your future goals. Would you love to work as a nurse in the USA? If so, then check out the Swoosh English Connetics USA IELTS Scholarship, in which you could do all of this for free. And this opportunity you can take. Let me share with you a little bit more information about that. You can see on the screen here Sorry, just one moment. Here we go. Yeah, information about the scholarship program. So if you would like to find out more information about this, just click on the link in the chat box and follow the option which says staff nurse, and you will be able to do that. Okay, so I'm just going to share that link with you now. Okay. Okay, so as I said, today we will be looking at some tips in relation to the IELTS exam. As usual, that is what we do in the class. So what I want to focus on today is vocabulary. And one of the things that a lot of students ask about in relation to the IELTS is the use of idiomatic expressions. So we all want to show wider range in our vocabulary. We all want to show that we have more complex language. We don't always want to use simple expressions in our speech. And one way that we can show all of these positive things in our speaking is by using idiomatic expressions. So I have a question for you, for those watching on YouTube, on Facebook, and also for those who are directly in the class today. Can you complete the popular idiomatic expressions on the screen? So have a look at the expressions and let me know in the chat box if you can complete them. And if you know what the answers are, just write the answers in the chat box and I'll read them out for us to see. Okay, so for the first one, she called me out of the, what do we think? So we've got a suggestion from Jess, out of the blue. Any other suggestions for the first one? Okay, so Gurpreet is saying blue as well for the first one. Yeah, out of the blue. Okay, good. So we're all familiar with that expression. She called me out of the blue. And of course, if something happens out of the blue, it means that we don't expect it to happen. So that's an example then of an idiomatic expression. Also, we have here, when I heard the news, I was over there. So Nazuko is saying moon. Gurpreet also was saying moon. Any other comments that we have here? Yeah, Jess says moon, as does Rita. Good, yeah, so absolutely. When I heard the news, I was over the moon. So we use the expression over the moon to refer to when we're feeling particularly happy or excited about a situation. And then finally, I've not been feeling well lately. I've been under the, and Gurpreet says weather for that one. Under the weather. Good. Rani also under the weather. Great. Yeah, absolutely. So if we feel under the weather, then it means that we're not feeling very well. So it's just a way to repeat or to reiterate the fact that we're not feeling well if we say we are feeling under the weather. So let's just confirm these expressions. And we can see here, absolutely, we got the correct answers. So great. So these are all examples then of popular idiomatic expressions that are used in English. But let's have a look at some other expressions now and see if we know the meanings of these expressions. So one particular area where we tend to use idiomatic expressions quite a lot is when we're talking about the past. And this is useful because quite a lot of the questions in the IELTS speaking exam will focus on the past. So if we have a look at these expressions from 1 to 7, we'll see that each of them are idiomatic expressions, but do we know the meanings? So take a moment to have a look at the expressions, and then in the chat box, if you think you know the meanings, I'd like you to share your answers in terms of what you think these different expressions mean. Okay, so Jess says for number 1, vividly remember, it's still fresh in my mind. Good, absolutely. Good. Any other expressions that we are familiar with here? It's on the tip of my tongue. Anyone familiar with this one and what it means? Okay. Just let me know if you think you've got the answer. Or if we're not familiar with that one, it's on the tip of my tongue. What about some of the other expressions? Do we know the meanings to those? Okay, so Gurpreet says for number 2, ready to say something. Yeah, kind of. If it's on the tip of your tongue, kind of, yeah. We'll have a look at another definition for that in just a moment. Jess says words that he or she cannot say, but she knows. Yeah, it's that idea. Yeah, absolutely. Adajet says it's in my mind, but can't find the right words. Yeah, good. So we're familiar with this expression by the looks of it. It's on the tip of my tongue. Good. Any other expressions here that we are familiar with? Okay. Well, let's have a look now then at some definitions that we could use. Just before we do, actually, Jess is sharing some of hers. So number 4, reminiscing. Very nice word, Jess. Yeah, I'm taking a trip down memory lane. Absolutely, reminiscing. 5, I remember, sorry, check my pronunciation. I remember it as if it were yesterday. Vincey says it happened a long time ago. Yes, it did. It did happen a long time ago, but it doesn't feel like it happened a long time ago. Yeah, good. Okay. And just see if we've got any other comments here. For number 3, Adajet says, meaning you're enjoying and don't notice the time. Doesn't time fly? Could be, yeah. You're really enjoying yourself in a particular moment, doing a particular activity, and the time just races away. So that would be a good context to use that expression. But let's have a look at some definitions then that I wrote earlier. So some of these expressions have similar meanings. So it's still fresh in my mind. Yep, I can remember it very clearly. It's on the tip of my tongue. I can almost remember it. It's on the tip of my tongue. So it's almost there. It's as if you're trying to think of a word. Let's imagine in English, you're trying to think of a word and you almost remember the word, but it's just not quite coming to you. Doesn't time fly? Time passes very quickly. So it could pass very quickly because you're enjoying yourself, or just because it seems something that happened a long time ago doesn't seem as if it happened a long time ago. So we think, wow, doesn't time fly? I can't believe it was 10 years ago since I was living in China. Doesn't time fly? Number 4, I'm taking a trip down memory lane. Yeah, I'm reminiscing. I'm thinking deeply about the past. Number 5, I remember it as if it were yesterday. I can remember it very clearly. So it happened a long time ago, yes, but I can remember it very clearly. It really takes me back. Again, it makes me think deeply about a time in the past. And if we use the expression, the memories come or are flooding back, it means I can remember lots of connected events from the past. So all of these memories of events which happened, they're all returning to me. So some context then in which we could use these expressions. Some examples, so you can see here with your first day at school. Yeah, my first day at school is still fresh in my mind. I remember my first day at school as if it were yesterday. Yeah, very similar meanings here. Obviously, your first day at school didn't happen yesterday. It happened a long time ago, I'm assuming, unless we have some very young people watching today. But we remember it like it was yesterday. So it's an idiomatic expression. It's metaphorical. What was the name of my first teacher? It's on the tip of my tongue. Yeah, something that you should remember, that you almost remember, but you can't quite remember. Maybe you'll remember it very soon, but then again, maybe you won't. I graduated from university 14 years ago. Oh, doesn't time fly? Yeah, it doesn't seem like 14 years ago. Wow, the time has gone very quickly. When I think about my first home, it really takes me back. So thinking about my first home as a child, it makes me think deeply or vividly about the past. I remember being in my first home as if it were yesterday. Again, it's very similar. As if it were yesterday, it really takes me back. You remember something from the past that happened a long time ago, but you remember it deeply or vividly. Just a final tip then on idiomatic expressions. In your IELTS speaking, it's good to use idiomatic expressions, but be careful how you use them. If you overuse them, then your speech will sound unnatural and it will seem as if you've memorized expressions, and it won't make your speech sound natural and fluent. So here's an example of what not to do. If you say something such as, "The memories are flooding back now. She called me out of the blue and I was over the moon." That doesn't sound like natural speech. It sounds exaggerated. So we have to be careful to avoid sounding exaggerated when we speak, because the examiner will not be impressed by that. I mean, they'll be impressed that you know the expressions, but they won't seem natural, and it won't seem naturally fluent if you overuse these expressions. However, if we say something such as, "The memories are flooding back now. I hadn't expected her to call, but I was really happy when she did," that's perfect, because we've got an idiomatic expression at the beginning, but then we have use of the past perfect in the second clause, and then finally in the third clause, we just have something that sounds a bit more natural, but that's fine. We should be using a mixture of natural language, the sort of language that people use every day, and then every now and again, we use idiomatic expressions to emphasize something. So if you're using idiomatic expressions all of the time, it's like you're emphasizing everything, and it's too much. So use them, but use them wisely and use them appropriately. Don't overuse these expressions. But this is something I'll be listening out for today, as usual. I'll be listening out for general speaking performance, but I'll also particularly be listening out for use of idiomatic expressions. So let's see how we do in today's speaking practice. So I'm going to bring a student in now to do some practice with us, and I can see that we've got Jess in the class here. So let me bring you in, Jess.
Hi, Alex.
Hi there. How are you doing, Jess?
I'm doing fine. How about you?
Yeah, I'm doing well, thank you. I'm doing well. Do you like using idiomatic expressions?
Not at all, because I'm not very familiar with it.
Ah,
Well, sometimes I also use idiomatic expressions out of the blue, and I don't even know the meaning of it. But sometimes I use it correctly, so hopefully
okay.
I can use it during my IELTS exam.
Well, that is the key. Yeah, if we're going to use idiomatic expressions, we have to use them correctly. But yeah, during the practice today, if you see an opportunity to maybe use an expression, then it will be a good way to practice. And then obviously I can give you a bit of feedback and say, yeah, you used it correctly, or maybe we could have used it in a slightly different way. So let's see. So
Let's
are you
see.
ready? Yeah. Are you ready to do some practice then, Jess?
I will try my best.
Brilliant, brilliant. Okay, so we're going to start today by looking at part 2 of the speaking. And just a quick recap for those who are less familiar. For part 2, that will last between 3 to 4 minutes. And what you have to do is you have to speak for up to 2 minutes on a specific topic. You'll have a minute to prepare before you speak, and you should aim to speak for 2 minutes or until the examiner interrupts you during the section of the test, during the second section of the test. So let's have a look. So the question I've got for you, Jess, is on the screen now. Can you see that?
Yes, I can see it.
Brilliant. Okay, then Jess, so you have a minute to prepare your response, starting from now. Okay, Jess, are you ready to begin?
Okay, I will give it a shot.
Brilliant. Okay, so please describe an occasion when you saw a lot of people smiling.
Okay, so let me tell you one of my favorite moments that occurred in my life. It was during my graduation day. Um, it is one of my very special moment because we all know that we struggled a lot during our college days together with our friends, and after that 4 long years we finally graduated, and we will able to give back what our parents deserve. So I saw a lot of my classmates and even my batchmates during that special day, smiling from ear to ear. And I can say that we are genuinely happy during that moment, and we will not forget about it. Um, Even though we will grow old and we can still reminisce all our struggles, but we were able to overcome it. um, I was with my best friends during my college days, and fortunately, we were able to accomplish this 4 year struggle in our life. So it happened way back in 2016 in our university, and our graduation day held at our gymnasium. So I can tell that all of us are smiling, not just the student. Even our parents are also with us, giving. They are very proud that their kids made it, and we are ready to go into the adult life or step into a new
Okay,
challenges.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very
Okay.
much there, Jess. That was great. So lots of vivid memories there about your graduation, and it was a nice description. So you spoke at a natural pace, which was great. There were just certain moments where you were obviously thinking about the next topic, but there wasn't any excessive hesitation or pausing. So your fluency was at a good level here, and you spoke at a natural pace overall. Nice idiomatic expression that you used there, smiling from ear to ear. So that's a nice expression to use. So that was good. That was good. I thought actually, because right at the beginning, because obviously you're talking about something that happened at the past, that might have been a nice time as well to use an expression. So something like, when I think about my graduation, all the memories come flooding back. I was here.
Oh,
Yeah. So that might have been a nice way to start, but it was good that you used smiling from ear to ear, because that was an appropriate expression, and it was used in the right context. Use the word reminisce as well, which is a very nice word to use. But just to say, when you use reminisce with an object, we would reminisce about something. So you said we reminisce all our struggles, but yeah, should be we reminisced about all of our
about.
struggles. Yeah,
Okay, reminisce about. Okay, okay.
exactly. If you use it at the end of a sentence, you can just say, yeah, we reminisced, and that's fine. But it's if you use an
Mm-mm.
object afterwards, then you would use that preposition
Okay.
about. But yeah, like I said, lots of appropriate vocabulary was used. Just one thing that was new to me. Did you say my batchmates?
Yeah.
What is
Uh,
a batch? What's a batchmate? That might be like maybe an American thing. I'm not familiar with that. What is it?
I can't explain it, but uh, uh, example, I'm in nursing, and my batchmates is with I'm with the same year but different course. I mean different.
Ah,
Yes, but I'm not sure
okay.
if it's
I'm just.
appropriate to use
I'm,
that word.
yeah, so I'm just having a look here now, and it's saying that it's popular in South Asia and the Philippines. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, just something to be aware of, because obviously, as I'm from the UK, and
Mhm.
I've not heard that term before. So you might want to be a bit careful if you are using terms um, that aren't common in the UK or the United States. Then you'd probably want to describe or explain them. So you say, my batchmates, which is what we call classmates, or something like that. Because otherwise it's going to be confusing for the examiner, and they'll think, well, maybe that doesn't exist. So yeah, just be careful if you're using terms that are not culturally recognized. Again, particularly because most examiners for the IELTS, I mean, they could be from the United States, they could be from the UK, they could be from Australia, they could be from the Philippines, possibly, but just be aware, that's all. If there's a particular item that's not common for certain speakers of English, then you want to clarify that terminology.
So should I use schoolmate instead? Schoolmate?
Yeah,
Something
so
like that?
yeah, just yeah, classmates. That's what we would say, really. Or
Okay.
all the people from the same subject that we studied. Yeah, but usually just classmates.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a new
Um,
thing for me. Okay.
yeah. Well, there we go. It's a new thing for me as well. I'd like I said, I'd not heard that one before. Batchmates. But yeah, like I said, apart from that, it was really good. Oh, just a final thing on grammar. You said that I think the celebration, you said it held at our gymnasium, but you'd want to use the passive here. So it was held at our gymnasium.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's a
Was held.
passive structure.
Okay. Thank you, Alex.
No worries. Thank you very much, Jess. And actually, just one final thing. There were some moments, most of the time you're using the past tense correctly, but there were some moments where there's a little bit of examples of the present tense coming in to talk about the past. So what I'd recommend for that is just with a question like this, just to record yourself and to listen back to it, because this is a common mistake that people make, is that they mix tenses. And it's not because they don't know the tense, it's just because when they're speaking fluently, they sometimes forget. So there's sometimes you're using, for example, you said, my parents, they are very proud, but you were talking about how they felt at the event. So obviously you should be using the past tense, they were very proud. And yeah, so just be careful about that, because that is something the examiner will pick up on.
Okay. Thank you, Alex.
Thank you, Jess. Have a great day. And thanks for getting involved.
Okay. Thank you.
Cheers. Okay, so let's continue with some more practice. We're going to move on to another topic. And the topic we are going to look at next is, appropriately enough, teacher. Your teacher from school. So let me bring Abby into the class. Hi there, Abby. Are you there?
Yes, Alex, but sorry, Alex, I'm at work. I cannot talk more.
Okay.
Hello? Yeah, sorry.
No
I just
worries.
overwhelmed to attend your class.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Let me bring someone else in then. Okay, so we've got Jelalat here as well. Let me bring Jelalat in. Hi there. Hi there. Is it Jelalat? Hi.
Alex? Yeah, I'm fine.
Good. Have you joined our class before, Jelalat?
No, this is my first time.
Well, a very warm welcome to you. Which country are you joining us from today?
I'm from Nigeria.
Fascinating. Okay, so Jelalat, are you ready to get involved and do some part 2 speaking practice?
I'm still shocked because I've not really practiced, but let me try.
Yeah, that's what this class is for. This is where we do the practice, so don't worry. Okay, so as usual, Jelalat, with part 2, you've got a minute to read the question and prepare, and then you should speak for up to 2 minutes. Okay. So I'm going to start the preparation time from now. Okay, Janela, are you ready to begin?
Yes.
Okay, so please describe your favorite teacher from school.
Yeah, I would love to describe one of my favorite teacher, Mr. Adelabu. He taught us economics at St. Louis Grammar School, Mokolai, in Ibadan, Nigeria. He is very versatile and outspoken person, and he is tall and dark in complexion, and with blue eyes. He taught us economics, and he taught us economics, and this it makes sure that everybody participates in class, especially when it teaches us a topic. He really wants us to participate by speaking up and explain the previous topic, so that it ensures that we all understood what he has taught. So I think he's very versatile, he's outspoken, and he moves closer to the students each time. Sorry, I'm not really prepared.
That's okay. So why do
I
you
don't really
remember
know what
this
to say.
teacher? Why do you remember this teacher so well?
Because he has impacted so much knowledge in us, and it makes sure that we are really good ambassador of our society. That's why I remember him so well.
Okay, thank you very much, Jelalat. Good. So I could hear you a little bit nervous there, which is understandable. You know, it's the first time you've got involved in the class, and to be honest, that's what's good about this, because you're going to feel nervous in the exam room as well, right? There's going to be a bit of nerves, but we have to learn to control those nerves as best as possible. So this is good practice for you to get used to managing the nerves. And you did well. You did well, Jenna. Like you answered the questions appropriately. You used some nice vocabulary as well. You talked about the teacher being versatile. Use some nice expressions in terms of, everyone, you said, participate in class, ensures that we understood. So there was some nice use of vocabulary there as well. I think in order to make and pronunciation was accurate. The pronunciation that you were using some longer words. Versatile was one, economics was another. The sort of the longer multisyllabic words that you were using, you were pronouncing them accurately. In terms of just thinking about how you're going to perform in the exam room, you do want to speak at a slightly faster pace, because there was quite a lot of hesitation. And I think most of the hesitation was just because you were a little bit nervous. So it is natural, but the more practice you do, the less nervous you will feel.
Yeah, thank you so much.
No worries, Janela. And just a final thing as well. So even though you were using some good vocabulary, there was sometimes repetition of words. And again, I think it was like you weren't exactly sure what to say. Did you make a lot of notes before you began speaking?
No, not really.
Okay, so that's the key. Yeah, make as many notes as you can during the 60 seconds. Just write down as many ideas you can think of, and that'll help you to avoid repeating yourself and to avoid hesitating. So, that'll just be a tip there. But otherwise, you did a good job. So well done, Janela, and and well done for having the courage to do some practice today. So let's move on then. And just before we do a little bit more practice, I want to remind you of the great opportunity that is available with the IELTS scholarship program. And what we are offering here at Swoosh and Connetics is the opportunity for those who would love to move their career in a new direction. If your dream is to work as a nurse, and live in the United States of America, then you could do that with support from Swoosh English and Connetics USA. And you could do all of this for free if you sign up for the scholarship program today. So I'll share the link for that in the chat box. All you need to do is click on Staff Nurse in order to get more information. So let's move on to another part 3 topic now. And the topic we are going to move on to is news. So let's see who we can bring in to do some practice on this topic. I can see we've got Angie in the class. I'm going to bring Angie into the class. Hi there, Angie.
Hi.
Hi, how are you today? It's your first time?
Yeah.
Brilliant, brilliant. We always like it with first timers. It brings a good experience, doesn't it, for as many people to get involved as possible. Where are you from, Angie?
I'm from the Philippines right now.
Okay, so you're from the Philippines and you're living
yeah.
in the Philippines at the moment.
Yeah. I'm from the Philippines and I'm here now in the Philippines. Yeah, living.
Brilliant. Okay, so Angie, are you ready to do some part 2 practice?
Okay, I'll try. I'll give it a try.
Good, good. So can you see the topic on your screen at the moment?
Yes, I can see it.
Brilliant. Okay, Angie, so you've got a minute then to prepare, and then you should speak on this topic for up to 2 minutes. Okay, so Angie, are we ready to begin?
Okay.
Great. So please describe a piece of international news that you have just recently heard.
Okay. Over the course of my life, I've encountered a lot of foreign news in the television and radio. However, today I'd like to talk about devastating news I've heard a couple of months ago that was about the new variant called Delta variant in India that was spread enormously, and I believe that is something very contagious. It's very transmissible. So during that time when I was listening to that news in the BBC, I was actually cleaning the house, but at the same time I'm listening because also I'm practicing or reviewing my IELTS. So I used to listen BBC a couple of months ago. So I was really shocked. I was taken aback when I saw the number of people that has been that has been hit by this virus, and some of them died. Most of them died, of course, and I was down in the dump at that time, and I couldn't imagine how many people died on that kind of virus. And of course, I was also dread. I was also afraid on that kind of virus because it might spread to the other country, and the vaccine might not work. So of course, I'm a nurse. I am I'm dreadful of that thing to happen. I think hospital nowadays are overwhelmed with that kind of with this pandemic, and then again another variant came.
Okay,
So
thank you. Thank you
okay.
very much there, Angie. You had a lot to say
so
on
nervous.
this. Really? You didn't
Yeah.
sound nervous. You sounded like you were very
trying
much.
to compose myself.
Yeah, you sounded very composed. Very composed.
Thank you.
Yeah, and you had a lot to say on the topic as well. This is a really good strategy, actually. Is to take a topic and link it to something that you are familiar with and something that you are comfortable with.
Yes, yes, definitely.
Yeah, that's a really good strategy
It- it-
to
it
use.
can- I can easily gather an idea and information, can formulate things. If although it's true, but some of them are fabricated. Like I was not actually cleaning, just to add up the story
Yeah.
so that it will be
Extra detail.
sound like natural, something like
Yeah,
that.
and it's good. Yeah, that's a very good strategy. Yeah, it doesn't matter if you add extra details. Yeah, the point is that you show your fluency and you use grammar and vocabulary accurately, and that you pronounce things correctly, using correct intonation or a variety of intonation. Those are the things you're being judged on, not whether what you say is true or not. So yeah, so if you talk about something that you're familiar with, if you can link the topic to something you're familiar with, then you will sound more fluent because you'll be more comfortable. So so well done, Angie. That was a really good strategy. Yeah, some nice use of vocabulary as well. So devastating news is a common collocation, for really bad news. So that was a great expression to use. Because you linked it as well to obviously your area of familiarity, you're able to use really appropriate adjectives like contagious, transmissible. So that was really good language to use as well. And you even went for an idiomatic expression there, didn't you? You said down in the dump. But usually it's used in the plural, so down in the dumps is yeah, I was down in the dumps. The only thing with that is, so usually we use that expression, as I'm sure you're aware, when we're feeling sad about something, if you're feeling down in the dumps. But because the news was devastating, you describe it as devastating, I thought another expression that you could have used might have been, I was gobsmacked. Have you heard that one?
No. This is my first time to hear. What is that?
Yeah.
Can you... I cannot even know.
So I've shared it in the chat box. I'll share it in the so you can see it in the chat box. But I was gobsmacked means I was shocked. It's an expression that we use.
Okay.
Yeah, a colloquial expression.
Yeah. Okay, new word again. Thank you.
So that could come in handy. But yeah, no, you did really well there, Angie. And
Is that
yeah, gob.
Is it gob?
Gobsmacked, yeah. So gob is a very informal word for mouth.
Gobsmacked.
Yeah, so gobsmacked. It's like basically it's like I couldn't speak because I was shocked. Yeah. But yeah, Francisca has said that you did really well for your first time, and I agree. Yeah, you did a really good job.
I'm actually in my bed when I
you're in your bed
in WhatsApp.
Well, even better
for the link. So
so you got involved.
Yeah, I stood up again and sit down and listen.
Brilliant. just one final thing, Angie. You said at one stage, I'm dreadful of that thing to happen. So I'd change the expression slightly. You'd say, I would say, I dread that happening. Yeah. So use it as a verb. To dread something happening. Yeah. But yeah, otherwise, really good job.
Okay. Thank you, Alex.
Thank you. Take care, Angie.
I'm really nervous.
It's all right. You can relax back in bed now.
Thank you.
Cheers. Okay. So let's bring in Rita. Are you there, Rita?
Hello, Alice.
Hi. How are you?
I'm good. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Rita. You've been in this class before, haven't you?
Yeah, this is my second time.
Yeah, I thought we'd spoken once before. Just remind me where you are, Rita. Which country are you in?
I'm in UK.
You're in the UK. Okay, well there you go. So we have something in common. Okay, Rita. So we're going to have a look at some part 3 questions now. And for part 3, this is a question and answer format. So I'm going to ask you some questions on one of the topics that we've looked at earlier in the class. And you should give opinions or justifications for your comments. Okay.
Okay.
So let's have a look. We're going to look at the topic of education to begin with. And I'd like to ask you, Rita, what is your opinion on the way languages are taught in schools?
From my own point of view, I feel that languages are not being handled well in schools now. Generally, children tend to learn fast than adults. I believe that schools should inculcate teaching languages in primary level than leaving it when children get to secondary school. Because in our world now, we all believe that it's very important that people speak different languages. I can remember vividly before I came over to UK, I always wanted to go to Canada, but because I couldn't speak French, I missed that opportunity. And whenever I remember it, it always break my heart that I didn't have the opportunity to learn so many languages in school. If I had, I don't think I would have found it difficult to migrate to Canada.
What changes do you think will happen in the classroom in the future?
I feel that a lot of changes will come in future in classroom. For example, we all know that we are all going into improved technology in our schools now. Like when we were in school, we were used to blackboard, but now I know that my children that are in school, they don't use blackboard anymore. I believe that there's going to be a lot of evolution in educational system in the future. I also think that very soon children will no longer be using pen and paper, that everything is going to be done in computer, as uh, we all know that technology is improving every day.
Okay, I'm going to stop there, Rita, because your responses were so developed and you had so much
Okay.
content in them that I don't. Yeah, I think that gave us a really good sample of your speaking. So, really good stuff there in terms of the fact that you had so many ideas and were able to link so many ideas together to answer the questions that I asked. You used language to show opinion. You know, you said from my own point of view, which was good. You were linking ideas together as well. To explain your opinions and to give justifications. So that was really nice. The one thing that I would just watch out for is grammatical slips. So you're not
Okay.
using articles sometimes. An example of that is UK. So you said before I went to UK. So
Okay.
we always say the UK.
The UK. Okay.
The UK. And also you said we don't use blackboard anymore, but again, we don't use the blackboard anymore. Or you could say, or you could use plural. We don't use blackboards anymore. But either use the article or the plural. Yeah.
Mhm.
And also with prepositions, you said more things. I think is going to be done in computer, but again, going to be done on and on the computer. Yeah.
Okay.
So I think that's the main thing. Just some of those grammatical slips, particularly with the when using articles. Otherwise, you were using language very well. Pronunciation was extremely clear, and particularly, like I said, the way you were able to extend your answers was really strong. So yeah, well done, Rita.
Oh, thank you, Ale.
No worries. Okay, so sorry there, Rita. I didn't mean to cut you off. Sorry. Okay, so let's continue then. I want to do practice with some more students. So I'm going to move on to the topic of a quiet place we've got here. Let me just go back to that. A quiet place. So let's bring in a new student to do some practice here. I can see we've got Goods. I think is a new student. Let me bring this student in. Hello there.
Hello, good
Hello, are you there?
evening, sir.
Hello.
Good evening, Sir Alex.
Good evening. How are you?
Good evening. I'm good.
Is
I'm
that
perfectly
your
fine.
name? Is that your name? Goods.
Yeah.
Goods.
Yes.
Where are you from, Goods?
I'm from the Philippines, Sir Alex.
Brilliant, brilliant. And this is the first time you've done this class, is that right?
Yes, yes, sir. It's my first time to join this
Okay.
class.
Okay. Well, a very warm welcome to you, Goods. I'm glad that you've joined
Thank
us.
you. Yeah.
Okay. So, are you ready to do some part 3 practice?
Yes, it's my first time. I'm quite nervous, but I'll give it a try.
Okay. Brilliant, brilliant. Well, well done. Well done for giving it a try. Okay. So we're going to look at the topic of quiet places. And I'd like to know, Goods, why do you think some people choose to live in the countryside?
I think there are few reasons why people choose to live in countryside or in rural areas. One of these reasons is that we all know that in rural areas, the people there are not there's no the place is not crowded, meaning there are only few people who's living there. At the same time, it is a perfect place wherein people could find serenity and tranquility. So many people would opt to live there in order for them to calm themselves and unwind. At the second, okay.
Sorry, no, go on.
Aside from that, people would choose to live there because it is a place where there's no pollution and people just be closer to the nature. That's why they want to live in that specific area.
Okay, and why do you think that older people prefer living in the countryside more than younger people?
Well, I surmise that the geriatrics opted to live in the countryside because maybe they're just fed up in living in a fast-paced world. That's why they want to enjoy the remaining years of their life in a peaceful and tranquil community. And aside from that, I can say that it is in the rural areas wherein there is no pressure and pollution is not present and it's not crowded. So as a old people, they just want to live their life to the fullest by enjoying their life being close to the nature and to their family as well.
And why do you think that some people prefer to be alone?
Well, I guess the people would want to be alone because they want to meditate or reflect onto the things that is happening into their lives. It is also a great way for them to plan for their future. Also, there are times that people who's really facing a tremendous or I would say a devastating event in their lives that they want to just to be alone and try to come up with the solutions for them to make their life better.
Okay, thank you very much there, Goods. Some really good responses to the questions, particularly the way that you linked your ideas together. So lots of nice expressions for that. So for the first question I asked you, you said there are a few reasons, and you said one of these reasons is, so it's a really nice way to kind of link the point and then give structure to your response. Some other linking expressions used, you said aside from that as well also. So you're using lots of variety in your linking expressions, so that was great to hear. You also gave quite a few opinion expressions. So I guess, yeah, absolutely. At one point, though, you said, I surmise that. So it's not quite natural within conversation to use that expression. So you can,
Okay.
you can surmise something, but we wouldn't normally say, I surmise that. We say, yeah, I guess that, or I think that, or I believe that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Noted.
No worries. But yeah, some other good use of vocabulary. Serenity, tranquility was really nice that you were using some of these sort of less common words, and obviously multisyllabic as well. So you were pronouncing them correctly. You got the stress correct. So that was great to hear. Just one thing though, you said geriatrics, which is slightly, it has a slightly negative connotation if you talk about a geriatric. So we can say old people, we can say older people, we could say
Older, okay.
the older generation, but yeah, we wouldn't
Okay.
normally, we wouldn't normally use geriatrics
Okay.
within that conversation. Maybe in like a clinical context.
Yeah,
But
sorry, sir.
yeah.
Okay, sir. I'll take note of that, Sir Alex.
Perfect. But yeah, otherwise really good. Really good stuff. So so well done, Goods, and very happy to have you involved in the class.
Thank you, Sir Alex.
No worries. Take care.
Thank you.
Okay, so we've got time for one more person to practice with. I'm going to try and bring someone into the class again who is new. I think we've got quite a few new faces or students that I've not seen much of. So Char, are you there?
Yes, Alex, I'm here.
Hi, how are you doing, Char?
I'm good. Really recovering well.
Recovering. You've been
Yes. Remember last week we had a session. I just had COVID.
Oh, you said yes.
Yes.
Okay. No, I'm
But now,
glad that you.
yeah, thanks be to God, recovering well.
Good. So you're feeling better, much better than last week.
Yes.
Good. I'm glad to hear it, Char. Okay. So last week that was your first week practicing with us, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
That's right. Okay. Well, brilliant. So we're going to do a little bit more practice then just now, and we're going to go back to the topic of news. So I'm going to ask you some questions on the topic of news. So my first question for you, Char, is in your country, where do people get their news from these days?
These days, people from my country is getting it from television and radio. And some of them are taking in the international news through the paid cable network, such as Sky Cable, as we call it back home. Anyway, since I'm here in the UAE and I don't really subscribe with the channels by the provider, so I'm just getting the news out of YouTube.
Okay. Why do you think some people prefer getting their news online?
Well, people nowadays, because of the advanced technology, all the news, whether it is to back home or here, internationally, they are like being streamed live over the television. So that's why people are, and at the same time, the use of the technology such as mobile phones, you can even catch the news, or it will only really pop up from your mobile what's the latest and what's going on in the country.
How do you think that social media affects journalism?
Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
This one, I think, yes, Alex. I think you have said that. How does the social media affects the journalism?
Correct, yeah.
Anyways, back home, social media has a high impact on journalism. People will really believe when it goes to Facebook page, the feeds. If it goes there, people might believe it. But sometimes we have the connotations of having fake news over the social media. One time there was like a news that our president has died already. Anyways, this how much impact it has, a very big impact on journalism. So we have to try to research more and not only to believe whatever is going on through your feeds in your social media, like the Instagram or the Facebook or whatever it is. I'm not that
Okay.
psyche though.
Okay. Thank you very much, Char. So some really good responses. there. Some nice use of vocabulary connected to the topic as well. So you talked about fake news, which is very appropriate, particularly in these times. You talked about subscribing to channels, cable networks, and also connotations was quite a nice word that you used as well. So there was some good vocabulary in there. Just be careful, just a few slips. So you talked about streamed. You said streamed live over the television, but usually we use the verb broadcast for the television, and we use streamed for the
Okay.
internet. So yeah, so
Okay.
stream.
So
Yeah,
broadcast live over the television and stream over the internet.
exactly that. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Thank you so much for that, Alex.
No worries, Char. Also, at one point you said that social media has a high impact on journalism. Later on, you said a big impact. That's better to say a big impact
Okay.
rather than a high impact. You could also say, as an alternative, a significant impact. That could also be used. But yeah, big impact was good. And
Okay.
yeah, did you talk about a Sky cable at one stage?
Yeah, because one of the network provider for cable news, like international, like thingy, is Sky Cable back home. Do you have Sky
Sky, yeah.
Cable there in UK? Oh,
Yeah, we've got
yeah.
Sky
So that's
TV.
good.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
so that's
that's
fine.
good.
I'm
Well,
just
it's
checking.
back home. It's
Yeah.
called Sky Cable.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, we've got Sky as well. So yeah, we could say yeah, a cable for Sky TV. Yeah, that would be fine. Great. Okay. Thank you very much there, Char. I'm glad that you're recovering, and I hope that your recovery
Yeah.
continues going forward.
Thank you so much, Alex. Yeah.
No worries. Take care. Okay, so that brings us to the end of the class today, just about. Just before I go, I do want to remind you about the opportunity to join our class live. I have had some questions in the chat asking about how one can get involved directly and do practice in the class. If you would like to do that, and you would like all the other support that we could offer you at Connetics and Swoosh English today, then do join the scholarship program, where you could sign up and have that support so that you could work and live as a nurse in the USA. And you could do all of this for free. So if you would like more information about that, just sign up to just click on the link, which will be shared in the box in just a moment, and click on the option for staff nurse. Okay. But apart from that, thank you very much to all those who have been watching the class live today. And thank you as well to those who've been watching live on Facebook and YouTube. It's great to have your interaction. That's what makes the classes so useful. So take care, have a great weekend, and I will see you again next week.